Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at another 1/72nd scale kit in Revel's F-22 Raptor. So let's open her on up. Okay, so first sprue up we have our inlet trunking, as well as the backplate for it, which unfortunately does not include the compressor fans. Just includes this little bit of a raised alignment piece. Which, unfortunately is disappointing, as obviously having a full trunking is a nice thing to include. Also on this sprue, we have the tail hook for the Raptor, which, in all honesty, I didn't even know Raptor had one. So, a little questionable there, but we also have our Sidewinder bays, weapon pylons for the internal bays, our weapon sprue, which does include full suite of AMRAMs, two different types of sidewinders, and some JDAMs. We also get our external fuel tanks. Overall, these are alright. Detailing on them is fair, I would say, for the scale. Yeah, not a whole lot to say, at least in that regards, for them. Next up, we have our main weapons bay, which detailing is acceptable. We have our horizontal stabs, which, in comparison to the Hasegawa 148th, are basically undetailed. In fact, don't know how well this is going to show up. They're basically flat. There's no detailing whatsoever on them. See much the same here on the vertical stabs. As there's none of the detailing that supposed to be there. It's basically some minor panel lining, and that's basically it. So continuing on, we've got our engine exhausts, as well as the burner cans, our vector nozzles, which again do the job, and it's also nice they include both an open and closed configuration. Some landing gear parts or wheels, and a couple of structural components. Now, here on our upper fuselage, you should be able to see a little more of what I mean by the lack of some of the raised detailing that's on the Raptor. They get some of it, but right here with the luves, but beyond that, they do a really poor job of representing the surface detail on the aircraft. Also on this sprue, we've got our ejection seat, which isn't too terribly bad. I can't complain too much considering. As well as our cockpit, our instrument panel, and hopefully this will come out halfway well on the camera. It'll focus. And yeah, in that regards, cockpit it's pretty Spartan. Similar with the instrument panel, but since it's a glass cockpit, that's kind of to be expected. Next up, we've got the underside, which is much the same. If you can look here, again, hopefully this will show up. You can see the nose gear, which is completely void of detail, which is a little bit of a disappointment. We also have our various weapon bay and gear door included, which the detailing is definitely better than the rest of the kit overall, but I would say it's still not quite up to the same level of detailing. And lastly, we have the one singular clear air sprue that they included in this kit. And unfortunately, it's of the, sort of yellow tinted armored radar absorbing that you see on the combat aircraft. And why they chose to do all the clear parts in this color, I don't know. They could have included a plain clear sprue so that you can at very least get your heads-up display and all that in the clear part, but they did not. Or at very least include, more ideally, include a second canopy in clear. But I digress. One shining point is the decal sheet. All decals are sharp, clear, and crisp. I've got no complaints. Includes much the same as the Hasegawa kit. A lot of different aircraft which you can build up. So that's a nice inclusion. Let's now move on to the instruction sheet once I toss everything back in. Now, one thing I do like that they did is they include this key of what all the parts are. So that was a nice little inclusion. I thought was a little smart. As far as construction kit goes, I would say the main issue here would be how they need you to build the main gear into the kit. As obviously once you button it up, it's going to be quite difficult to get, I think, to get those in. Beyond that, it's fairly straightforward. Obviously, the only thing I would say is definitely pay attention to if you're building it opened up or closed, what parts you need to do, what needs to get cut open, such as here on the nose gear doors, and how they get cut open, as I can see that potentially being an area of issue. Now, as I said earlier, it does include a large number of different paint schemes. All of them are over the basic Raptor two-tone, light gray and dark gray, and does fortunately include a decent number of aircraft for which to build. So, overall, I would say this kit is not that great. There are better kits out there, I want to say, in this scale, because I'm pretty sure Hasegawa's got a 172nd Raptor, Ida Leary has one, and I think there's one or two more. But overall, the Revel offering is not that great. I would say only go with it, if you're desperate to build a Raptor in this scale. But yeah, it's got too many issues. Granted, I'm pretty sure you can pick it up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby with 40% off coupon and get it fairly cheap, But even then, I would definitely say this was one to pass, even with the decals. So yeah, that was a look at Revel's 172nd F-22 Raptor. Until next time.